Welcome to day 4, and we are interviewing Christie. It's kind of gonna be like I'm hanging out with Christie right now, and you guys can ask questions. I am super excited to bring Christie in. She is back to school, and actually, I'll let her tell you her story. But let's have. I want to have this kind of interview to be number one, to show you guys, hey, this is current Ignite members, Christie, this is her experience, but also to showcase Christie and her story and how she went from not being really sure about how she was going to grow her group or her community to stepping into this role where she's like more confident, to interviewing really cool people in her group, and to monetizing her group as well. So welcome, Christie. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. And thank you, Kim, for asking me to be here. When I got the message from Sharon a couple days ago, I'm like, oh, she wants to interview me again. That's awesome. So thank you, because Kim, I mean, I really look up to you. You're a trailblazer, and I'm following right behind you. And I just appreciate your enthusiasm, and you're a risk taker, and it helps me be more of a risk taker. So thank you for doing what you're doing, because you're helping lots of people.
Aw, thank you, Christie. That makes me all the feels, all of the feels right now. All right, so let's have the audience get to know you better. Let's share your story of. Let's take the time machine back to when we first you first started knowing about GroupConvert Ignite, kind of like going through the challenge yourself. And at that time, where were you at with your group? How were you feeling? Why did you choose to step into the role of leading your people inside your group? Let's give them a little bit of an origin story of Christie,
Okay.
and then I'll ask you some questions to see where you're at throughout your journey.
Okay, sounds good. And hi, Sharon. Nice to see you on here. I hope my phone doesn't die. Hold on one second, because I'm watching the comments on my phone, but it just popped up low battery. So, okay. Well, I was actually introduced to Kim probably a year and a half ago or so. I was getting some help with Kartra, and I was using, as new people were entering my group, I was literally, Kim, taking a screenshot on my phone of the new members in the hopes that I would eventually put their information into my computer. And that doesn't always happen. And I said something to this girl, and she's like, well, you need GroupConvert. And I'm like, what is GroupConvert? And she told me about Kim's GroupConvert, where whenever someone enters your group, it puts their information into a Google spreadsheet. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So that was my first introduction to Kim. And, you know, I saw her Facebook lives pop up here and there. And I'll never forget one of them, Kim, I haven't told you, you had some funny looking hat on. I'm like, who is that chick? So she doesn't, she's not afraid to be herself. And I so appreciate that. But as we all know, March came along and we were all at home. I'm a middle school teacher. And well, I'm also a wife and mom. I have 4 adult grown children. So I'm an empty nester. So I was home teaching, and I saw a Facebook Live come on with Kim talking about her GroupConvert Ignite challenge, just like this one. And it intrigued me. And I have a Facebook group for breast cancer survivors, because I am an 11-year breast cancer survivor. So that is the population that I serve. And if you're a breast cancer survivor or any type of cancer survivor, let me know in the comments. Let me know what type of cancer you had and how long of a survivor you are, because it's not just overcoming the disease, it's a mindset thing too. So anyway, I had this breast cancer survivor group, and I was offering tons of value for free and not making any offers, because prior to going online, I was very good at selling my product My follow-up wasn't so great because I didn't really have a system in place. So, you know, here comes Kim with her challenge, and I did everything that she said to do that week. I changed my banner. I took advantage of that freelancer money that she provided and was so grateful for that, you know, having that, put the funnel into my own personal page and started growing my group more. And since I started the group, I have been interviewing people, but this has given me the confidence working with Kim to step out of my comfort zone and ask those people that are on your, you know, scared, you know, they scare you to death. Ask. If you have those people, give me a raised hand, because I think we all have those people. Like, I really want to, you know, connect with that person, but, you know, I don't know if anyway. So I interviewed somebody high up in my company about a month ago. And, you know, it's funny because the Kim and Sharon and the whole team have given me the confidence to do those asks that scare me crazy, you know, scare the, you know what, out of you. And I'm so grateful because, you know, and I went with Mispa the day before and I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. And she helped me put together a chat bot, and it's just I know who to ask and what for help. And so if you guys, if you're thinking about this group, do it, because Kim will either help you herself, or there's someone on her team that can help you. And if you go MIA for a while, they'll reach out to you. So towards the end of the summer, getting ready for school, I started focusing on school more. So, you know, they reached out to help. But you guys helped me figure out that I do have something of value to offer people, and it's okay to ask for the sell. And I now have an email sequence for my current customers. I'm working on an email sequence for my people in my group. I know how to use ActiveCampaign now. Like, I even made a button the other day, a form. So I was like, this is so cool. So they teach you how to do the hard things, or what you perceive to be the hard things. And I really appreciate that, Kim. And the coaching calls with you each week, I look forward to them. My school schedule now is not as free as it was in the spring. So those are probably going to have to be replays for me right now. And then meeting with Sharon once a month, she checks in, and it's so funny. She will never let you get off that call without, okay, what are your goals? What are the dates for your goals? And she really helps you nail down those dates and put that plan into action. So I appreciate that. My group is growing. The engagement is great. And just realizing it's okay to ask for not the sale, but I have something to offer them, and it's okay to offer that to them and expect to get paid for it. So thank you.
Yeah, I think now that you're doing that, it would, to me, sometimes you can forget about how hard it is mentally to even step into it at first. After a while, you're like, oh, okay, I can do this. But at first, it's such a big mental just leap. And I remember your conversation with me where you're like, well, should I do this or that, because I'm conflicted, and being in that stage of confliction of like not being clear on who you want to serve, because before you were serving people with who have survived from breast cancer, but now you're like after treatment, you hone in on exactly who you want to serve.
Yeah, and that you guys helped me crystallize that, because I was trying to serve two different groups at the same time, and that was difficult. One, I've been through breast cancer, but now I'm on the other side, and that's really when the transformation took place. And so, yes, I'm reaching those people that are currently going through it, but I'm actually speaking to the ones that are on the other side. There's hope on the other side, and this is how I can help you. So you helped me figure out that, I was trying to speak to two different groups at the same time, and then your message gets muddled. And, and I'm still evolving and still changing and thinking, oh, wait, I need to adjust this more and pivot this way. So you've helped me see that pivoting is okay and that people are still going to follow you, because it really is true. People follow people they know, like, and trust. And I, even then when I changed the name, I was like, great, I'm going to lose half the people. And I didn't. So it does make a difference. So thank you for helping me find that clarity and helping me dive in, because whenever can I talk about before I signed up and the conversation you and I had?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I, had watched the challenge, and this isn't I've done other courses. One of them was like 16 weeks and it just wasn't enough. Trying to work full time and do this part time, I need, a little extra time to get things done. And so Kim and I were private messaging back and forth, and I had questions about the whole program. And, there is no way my husband is going to say, hey, yeah, I think you should do this. For financial reasons, he'd say, heck no. And so Kim and I talked about it, and she kind of coached me and told me what to say, but we've been married long enough that he saw right through that one. And it had to come from my heart and where I was. And so I said, honey, I really feel like this is a program that I need to do. And our spouses are there to protect us. And if we have any sense of doubt, they're going to pick up on that and they are going to try to protect you. So he, said, no, you shouldn't do this. And I, being the independent, sometimes stubborn person that I am, said, well, I'm not asking for your permission. I'm just asking for your blessing, because I feel in my heart that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I know where I'm stuck, and I know that she can help me. And at first he said no. And I wasn't going to pay. I wanted to pay in full because I wanted the one-on-one with Kim. And so I knew if I did that, so I, my husband, after I talked to him and he said no, and I told him exactly what I just told you, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but just make a stand for what I believed in. And so the next day, I said, hey, I saw something in my email about a credit card for my bank. And he said, well, yeah, you can get one there. So he did a full 180. Once he saw that I was strong in my conviction and wanting to move forward, then he, went along with it and, helped me fill it out real quick. And to make a long story short, we've already paid it off. And so he supported me and saw that I knew what I wanted and what I needed at that point in my journey. So if your spouse is struggling, if your spouse is struggling, let me know in the comments. If they're like, heck no, don't do that, because it's not that they think that you can't do it. It's that sometimes, they're there to support you and protect you. So they think, well, she may not know what she's really getting into. And that's where you have to be firm in your conviction and what you need to do next. So
that's amazing. I feel like part of us as coaches, what the gift we get to give is results really don't take time. They take courage. And that's what a quote that I kind of live by. One of my coaches that I paid $30,000 to be in their program, they just are like, results don't take time, they take courage. And there's so much truth in that, because if we are kind of like living small, kind of just behind and back and forth, and we are in that gray area and we take that with us as we're going along on this online journey, it's going to be so much harder for us to be strong and stand strong for our own people when they're weak, because you are the client you attract. And when I feel one of the biggest gifts to give is to know what's behind the curtains, to know what your coach is doing. If your coach is like falling, this is how they fall. If your coach is winning, this is how they win. And it's okay. Like a lot of the things you said was, it's okay if I pivot. It's okay if I niche down. I'm not going to lose my people because Kim changed and she didn't lose people, or like this happened. And so having that behind the scenes look, as well as being able to just stand strong in your own convictions, it bleeds into everything else. It shows up when you go live, and it shows up when you're talking to your potential buyers. So I feel like getting into a coaching program, what are the things that you're looking for? You're looking to see if they're going to stand strong, they're going to keep you accountable, they're going to make sure that you move forward when you feel like it's too much, because it's a program where we lovingly push you. We lovingly keep on pushing you to go forward. Because again, the tragedy for me, Christy, is that you say no and you just go back to buying these little programs that take you part way, but not all the way, to sometimes it's not a year. So sometimes you'll have vacations, sometimes you'll have downtime, sometimes you'll go down, and who is there gonna pull you back in? So to say, hey, keep on going because you can do this. And I think for me, the benefit of myself being in a year-long program, it's like, I know every single month I need to move forward. I got to move forward, but it's moving forward with confidence and with happiness and with knowing that there are people behind me that have my back, you know? And I think that that's one of, I feel, a gift that we get to give to our people. And I'm glad that that's the vibe and the experience that you have with us in Ignite. Yeah, I see. I see Sharon tagging a bunch. Hey, Liana. Hey, Liana says, I think I'm gonna do a $30,000 in 30-day challenge. Whoa, 30,000 in 30 days. That means you make you're gonna help your people make $30,000 in 30 days. That's bold. I love that courage. That's pretty strong right there. And Sharon is tagging a bunch of people right now. Yeah, so what I want to ask you, Christy, is also that I want to take us back to when you were kind of iffy about how did that change for you when you started looking at your audience differently, to saying, hey, I have value and I'm going to charge for my value. I can ask for the sale because it's not because I want to make, you know, more money. That's great. But it's because I know my worth and I can't just give free value forever. Yeah. Like, take me through that mental transformation, and then give me, also describe to me what it felt like for when you actually started asking for the sale, and you know, let me know, like, how did that feel for you as you step into that role?
Okay, well, I will never forget, because I launched much sooner than I had planned on launching, and it was this summer. I really felt like you have to act from your heart and not your head. Mm-hmm. And that has been a long lesson for me to learn, because I always try to act from my head instead of my heart. And I knew exactly what I was supposed to do in my group. I had this workshop planned out. It came together very quickly, and I had 8 ladies that signed up for it. And it was amazing because I spent a lot of time doing it. And one of the things that I learned from it is, don't close the cart the same day that you're launching, because it was craziness trying to get everything done for each night of the workshop. But it was great because the ladies got a ton of value from it, and it helped me see that, you know, because I think the information is great, but to hear their feedback and hear them say that they got something from it was really helpful. And then I did it again a few weeks later, I was invited to speak in another breast cancer survivor group, and I shared that with them and invited them, and to have them come along and do, go through it as well. And it was nice. I mean, I didn't do everything exactly the same, but I had the confidence because I'd already been through it once, and I knew that it was of value. So it was good to finally say, hey, I do have something of value to offer, because if you keep on providing free content, then when you do charge, it's going to be very difficult, because people are like, well, wait, she was the freebie, the free lady. So do it sooner rather than later. And, for a long time in my group, people didn't even know I had a product to sell. And I'll never forget a couple of different instances where they said, oh, do you sell that? And I said, yeah. And these are people that I knew actually pretty well. So I have gone not a full 180, but now I'm not afraid to say, this is my product. This is how I can help you. And I mean, last night I went through, these are some simple swaps that you can do, and, wasn't ashamed and wasn't afraid. And they're like, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. So you can do it in a non-salesy way. Like, this is who I am, and this is how I can help you. And if you choose to use these tools, great. If not, that's fine too. You're still welcome here. But now I'm not afraid to provide my free content, but also the paid content, because I feel like it's a value. So that shift has helped me not worry about what I'm saying all the time.
Oh, yeah. And when that happened, do you feel like you can get to be more of yourself? You get to show up just as you are, full blown. Yeah. I remember you're like putting on makeup and you're like, hey guys, I just want to go live and just do this with you right now.
I do some pretty silly Facebook Lives on my personal page, but my personal page is to funnel people to my group. And so I am just who I am. So
yeah. And I feel like from going from not selling anything to your group to actually asking for the sale, and to have the reception of people going, oh yeah, that was useful, that was helpful. Does that, I don't know if this does it for you, but for me, it unlocks this whole world of possibilities moving forward for the rest of my life. And so to me, it's like, whoa, it's like, I can duplicate this, I can repeat this, I can make this bigger, I can make this into this huge thing. And because I'm crossing these mental barriers for myself, what else is out there? So I kind of want to ask you, like, what are your dreams moving forward now that you've crossed over from the friend zone into into the relationships that you're having with your group members?
Well, like I said, I'm a middle school teacher, and my goal is to teach one more year after this year, and to be able to retire from teaching and know that I haven't missed the income. I won't miss the income, because I will have this in place already, and I'm serving other people, but also, monetizing it as well. And I don't feel badly about that, because I wish that I had what I'm providing when I was going through breast cancer. And I wish I'd had that community. I wish I'd had the products that I'm using, because it would have made a huge difference afterwards. Because I know what it's like to be where they are. And so that's why I value, that's why I pour into them what I've learned and how I can help and support them. So the sky's the limit to, grow a bigger group. And I know you and I talked about it a little bit, but maybe on down the road, have like a monthly box for them called the Hope Chest, because, kind of a play on words there, but there is hope after breast cancer. And I have the tools to provide it, and whether it be in a monthly subscription or a course, I'm toying with both. I'm not sure which way I'm going yet, because right now my focus is on once they get into the group, nurturing them and having that sequence in place so that it takes them on a journey. And, you know, you've helped me see that, because when you say I need to hear things a few times, I personally need to hear things a few times. And now I have it for my current customers and have them, because those are the people that I sort of neglected. But now I have something in place to follow up with them. And with my group, you know, I have my post that when they join, but now I need a sequence to take them. Okay, this is my journey, my breast cancer journey, and this is what it was like after, and sort of tell a story. And I already know, you know, what I'm going to offer them. And so I have more plans for the future. But one is to replace my income, and two is to help as many breast cancer survivors as I can. I have a group of 10,000. I have a group of 20,000. So I'm dreaming, and not that I'm hoping that women get breast cancer to grow my group, but that they will find me.
Yeah, no, not that they will get,
they will find me, you know, because there are lots of them out there that haven't found me, and, you know, that they would find me. So.
Yeah. And I love that you come from a place where you're like, I have a gift to give to the world. I'm not afraid to be there for it, to be present for my people. And I'm just waiting for them to find me. And because you set your group up the right way, because it's going to be suggested in their corner as they're searching for breast cancer survival groups, they are going to find you, and they'll find you more and more. And when you're the rest of your life, it's going to be building this, nurturing this group that's only going to grow and grow, and you will only be able to help more and more people. And I like how you said, you know, we need to hear it a few times. And that goes for me too. And that's why a year-long program is so helpful, because we're not only hearing it once or twice and then it's over with, like a one video masterclass or one little course. It is repetition, going and going and moving forward. And that's why for me, I invest in my own year-long program, because I know I'm gonna, it takes many layers of an onion being peeled away until it's like, oh, like I've heard it weeks before, months before, days before, and I actually get it now. And then I take action on it now in this moment. But it takes all that layers being stripped away. And I think it's so hard for you to think that one phone call, one or few things will completely change the course of your tribe building career. And I feel like there will be downtimes. There will be times where you might second guess yourself, where you might be less loud, where you are kind of afraid to show up because you've had a bad day. But in a year-long program, we're not going to let you get away with shrinking and staying that way. We're going to pull you out of that. And I think that's why, for me, I invest in my own year-long program. But it's definitely true, and especially true with your faith, right? Like, it's true in seeing in what's going on with like religion. They know what's up. Like they have you repeat things every single week, because they know that you're gonna forget, that it's gonna fade away if there's not this repetition in place for that, you know, for you to stick around, for you to believe, right? So repetition is so important. And I like that you mentioned that. I kind of went off on a tangent there, but yeah, I like that you touched upon that.
Well, you had said it multiple times, but once I made my email sequence for my personal group, you know, my group of customers already, it's like, oh, I can duplicate this in my group and take them on a journey. Like, this is, I have like a direction to go. Because I just had the welcome post, but that was it. And it's also feeling comfortable with people getting to know you and letting them see your vulnerable sides, because the times that I have been the most vulnerable in my group have been the times that I feel like the group has come together even more. We are, it's a pretty close-knit group, and it helps them see that you're real and it's okay to be real. So that's been helpful. But another thing I wanted to mention, a month or so ago when I interviewed that person in my group that, kind of my crush per se, like this is someone that I aspire to be like in my company, and got to interview her. When you start saying those things and manifesting them, they happen. And it's funny because I get friend requests all the time, and sometimes they're from random men that I realize they're not real and I delete them. Well, there was one a couple, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm like, this is a real person. And he has written a book called Hope Never Dies. And it's about people that have survived metastatic cancer and lived 10, 20 years, beyond what the doctors had given them. And so I saw that he had written this book. And so I private messaged him and I said, hey, this is who I am. This is who I serve. We did a Zoom call and I'm supposed to interview him at the end of the month. And so, you start manifesting and these things start happening. Like, where did this person come from? He wasn't one of those weird, guys that, no offense to men, but I get a lot of those friend requests from widows, and I'm happily married and all that. But anyway, this was a real person who's helping other people as well. And so it's neat when you encounter those. And I was interviewed in a group in California from another breast cancer survivor group. So you start to meet other like-minded people in the Facebook community who are out there serving others, and you join together to help serve other people. And and a lot of these people like you I've never met in real life, but you still are bonded together. You have a common, like your soul sisters. You have a common theme and you want to help other people, serve other people. So that's been really cool how different people have come into my path that I have no idea how they came into my path. So, but you just start speaking it and manifesting it and it happens. So.
Yeah, I feel like the type of reach that you get with a Facebook group, and if you have a community, if you have a voice, you can go and connect with all types of people now. There's not like, oh, I don't know how to connect with this person. It's more like, oh, come into my group. I want to interview you. Let me connect with you versus, hey, let's grab a cup of coffee and let me take up your time. It's like, no, I have an audience that I can now give value to, and then come and have a chat with me. And I feel like now getting to the people that are online that you might see so far away, now they're so much closer. And for my own story, Christy, when I first started my Facebook group, it had less than 200 people, and I think it was less than 100 people. And at that time, I was asking people who were making over $1 million online to interview them. And they said yes. Like, they said yes, because they were fine getting interviewed as long as I have an audience. And they didn't care. The myth was, oh, I need to have a huge audience in order to connect with these people. And their answer is no, that's not the case. They will say yes if you are nurturing your own audience, because they've been there. They've been where you are, and they can sympathize with that. What they won't usually sympathize with is like saying, oh, let me just talk to you. Can I just take up your time?
Right,
pick
right.
your brain. So
Well, it's funny because one of the ladies that I interviewed in my group, I've interviewed her twice. She's written a book, and I kept seeing her in breast cancer survivor groups. And so I thought, you know what? And I would get friend requests, and every time that there was a mutual friend, she was the mutual friend. So I'm like, I have to get to know this person, because she was in all the groups, knew all the people.
yeah.
And so I private messaged her, and she responded back, and we talked on the phone one Sunday night, a little over a year ago, for like 2 hours for the first time. And we communicated over the phone, and I said, I want to interview you in my group. And I was, just starting. And she said, well, how many people in your group? And I kind of fudged it a little bit, because I'm like, uh-oh, does she want to know, how many? And it wasn't that. It's just she wanted to know, she just wanted to know. And I interviewed her a couple months later. I drove to Virginia. I'm in Maryland. I drove to Virginia to her house, and we went and had dinner together. I spent the night at her house, interview at her house. We're really good friends now. And, had I not stepped out and, said, who is this person, and reached out to her, we would have never met. And she has, added so much value to the group, and the women love her in the group. And, she's one of our family. So it's really cool. So
I
ask
love
those
that.
people. If there's somebody that you have in mind right now that you want to interview in your group, let me know.
Yeah, it's like Nico says, it's an awesome vehicle, and it's kind of like the Dream 100, but really, you can do the Dream 10 and you'll go very far. Some of the people that I met online, I barely talk to them, but then they see my message and they're like, wow, I'm on board with that, and I'm going to spread this for her. And they'll just do it behind the scenes or not tell me about it. And then later on, I find out that they're sending like hundreds of people my way. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? Like, who are you?
Right. Awesome.
And that would not be possible if I'm not, talking to a Facebook group community that I built. And it's, to me, it's like a safe place too, because it's your people, them, and it's such a blessing to be able to be fully yourself, to show up. It's safe. You can experiment with different offers and different programs, and see what sticks, what lands, but everyone knows, and they're like, oh, yep, you're doing that. I'm on board with you. I'm going to try it out with you. I'm going to travel this journey with you. And what we're doing is we're allowing people to walk our path with us. And I think when you're doing that, the things that are scary is not so scary anymore. The things that might trip you up is not so hard, because you have a bunch of people behind you cheering you on, going, yeah, go,
Yeah.
go, Christie.
Yeah, and I so appreciate our community, because in our Facebook group, we are cheering each other on, and that's, really helpful. And our, the coaching calls and the office hours with Sharon, it's, we're getting to know each other as well. And it's really awesome to have that community supporting you as you're, trying to figure it out along the way. So.
Oh yeah, I love our community. We if there's a question about something, it's like, oh, okay, here you go. Here's a good resource, or hey, let me answer that for you. And you guys like help each other as well, because you're all on this journey together. So it's not just about us helping you as like coach and team and then client. It's also look around, and you're surrounded by people who are just as dedicated to go on this path with you, to grow their group, automate their group, and be able to provide value to their audience and get paid for that value, and not friend zone everyone.
Right.
So with that said, I want to ask you about, Nico says it's okay to get real in groups.
Yeah, and it's funny, because I mostly feel more comfortable in my Facebook group than I do on my personal page doing Facebook Lives. Now, I started out on my personal page doing Facebook Lives, but there's just something about building a community that you get to know each other, and those are your people. And I had gone back to doing some on my personal page. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. It felt a little foreign at first. I mean, I feel more comfortable now, but I definitely feel more at home in my group than I do on my personal page, because it's a much bigger audience. And so,
And oh, I want to ask you, so you said, hey, now I can do an email and I can create a button. I remember when you didn't know what a bot, like didn't know how to create a bot, and you're like, Kim, you'd be so proud of me. I made a bot blast. And now you're doing it like really frequently. Now I'm seeing it all the time. So I kind of want to revisit those moments where you didn't know how to do something and then you found out how to do it because of being in Ignite and asking all of the questions. So take me through a few of those moments with you, and let me know like what it is that what opened up for you. What are the things that you didn't know before and now you know how to do?
Well, I'll never forget whenever you and I talked at the beginning, and I said, well, I've tried to sell products in my group before. I had, when I first started my group, I did a Facebook challenge, and that's really what got my group going. But at the end of it, when I did my offer, no one took the offer. That was about a year and a half ago. So before I met you. And I remember you saying, well, how many emails did you send out before? How many emails did you send out after? I'm like, none. And how many, but bot blasts? I'm like, none. And now I know, like, I'm not the expert on building a bot, but I know how to use those templates, and I just use the same thing over and over again and adjust it. And that has helped in getting them into the bot. I know how to do that now. But I would say my biggest win, though, as far as automation, has been the emails, because that was, for whatever reason, that was the thing that intimidated me the most, because people were getting to see me even more, like, how is she as a writer? How is she, what is she telling about herself? But now, I do the email, I have this email sequence and learned how to do the button. And I did several last week because our company was doing the company thing every year. And so each day I sent out an email, and it's nurturing. It's just letting them, it's peeling that next layer of the onion and saying, okay, I'll let people get to know me more, because people really do want to get to know you. And that was another area that I have really been working on. You talk about working on yourself, is loving myself and realizing that I have something of value for other people, because it's easy for me to sell the product because it's a product, but to sell yourself, that's a whole nother thing. And it's taken me years to get to this point, but being myself, and I'm trying not to cry here, but realizing that I had something to offer. So
it's okay. We can cry. This is a safe space.
I wasn't even expecting to cry, but you guys helped me see that, one, I do have value, and two, I can figure out how to do the bots, and I can figure out how to do the emails, but it's more important that they get to know you, and those things are going to come. And they have, one step at a time. And, I was showing my husband last week, I'm like, honey, look at this email I sent out. And he's like, wow, that looks really nice. Because you want to be professional as well, you want to be yourself, but you also want to look like you know what you're doing. So anyway, does that answer your question? I kind of went off on it.
It's okay to go off on tangents. I love what you said about how I think the chasm from, for you, the email was such a big deal, even though it's like, you're writing emails. But what took you to actually going and being comfortable with the tech, with the email part, was seeing your value, that it outshines your fears. And when you are encouraged to go and give your gift to your people, because what if you didn't? What if you're quiet? Then what about all these people that are left behind or not getting your gift? When you see your own value outshine your fears, that's beautiful to me.
Yeah.
That means that you can overcome almost any technical stuff, almost any kind of barrier in ahead of you. It's
Hmm.
like this arsenal of, yeah, they need to experience my gift, and I'm not gonna let this active campaign thing get in the way. I'm not gonna let this bot stuff get in the way. And I have a team to help me not have it get in the way of me delivering my gift to my people. So like when you were tearing up, I was kind of like tearing up too, because I'm like, oh my God.
Well,
Like,
when I share that part of my story, because it's hard for me to share that part of my story, when I share that, it still gets to me because 2 years ago, I honestly thought, I don't have anything, people don't want to get to know me. What do I have to offer? So you really do have to love yourself to be able to love other people and to serve them.
yeah,
It makes a world of difference. And your confidence changes and people see it. People see the confidence that you have. And if you're not working, if you're trying to pour into people all the time and you're not pouring into yourself, you're going to run out of steam. You can't pour from an empty cup. And so I have really made self-care and improving myself, taking care of myself, becoming a better version of myself a priority because it helps me help other people more and to show up for them authentically and to be who God intended me to be. So,
and this version of Christy is such a different version than when I first got on a call with you. Remember our call? You're like, I don't know. Should I have serve this people or serve that people? I've been back and forth. You know, I took a course over there, but then it was too short for me to really do anything. Like you were very unsure. So how did Ignite help you get into that, go from that Christy to this version, this Christy? And I know a lot of it is credit to you, Christy. It is you, uh, that's you coming into yourself. But how did Ignite help you go from the Christy I spoke to
uh-huh.
now?
You helped me do things even when I was scared. You're like, yes, this, because I'll never forget, talking to you before that interview the last time, or, you give me ideas like, you should offer, what was it? Because I asked you something specific. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but you helped me see outside of my box, like other possibilities that I don't even think about. Put your link on there, provide them with, this offer instead of this offer. You help me see how to package things in a way that makes sense and offer value, but also how to monetize it in a way that makes sense. I wish I could remember because just recently I asked you a specific question and you said, no, you should do this. And do you remember what it was? It was very recent, within the last month.
Oh, uh, I feel like what I do is I have I can see I see so many models that if you present with me like a particular problem, there are so many solutions, and I pick one that fits you best and I give that to you. And I think when I do that with certainty because I'm like, this is gonna work because of the way your people are thinking and the way you position yourself. So it's like
Right.
helping you position yourself so that you can be confident. I think if you're shaking when you are positioning yourself, then it's going to show up in your people and your people can see that. But if you can position yourself where it makes sense to you, it's going to make sense to your people, and then the ask is going to be more fluid and you know show up more
Right.
strongly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how you help the most is whenever I am whatever I'm getting ready to launch, having you look at it or you and Sharon look at it and say, hey, have you thought about this, or you overlooked this? Because I was also talking to Sharon about something I was sending out. Oh, I was showing her a freebie that I'm going to put in my group. So when they join the group, they'll get this freebie. And she said, well, you should put your link on there. I'm like, I didn't even think about that. So, I love being able to show you guys, hey, this is what I'm wanting to do, because you'll see things that I haven't seen because you see it all the time. That would be like me walking into a middle school classroom of a new teacher and being able to point out things that maybe they hadn't thought about. You've been there, you've done that, and you've seen, like you said, different models. So it's really helpful to me because I haven't seen those models. So I can learn from, what you have already seen and put into place. So I really appreciate that.
Oh yeah. And I love that. That's why I whenever I buy into a program, I'm buying into their insight and their confidence. Because with insight, I can show up and I can sell. I can have the confidence to say, this is what I am valued at. And if you want to be part of this stuff, go ahead and invest in yourself at that level. So like, you want to know, okay, that person has already made the mistakes, that person has already gone forward, and that's why you invest in that in the program for that reason. And I feel like we have a kind of an unfair advantage because we own the software that helps all these groups grow. So there are so many Zoom calls, there's so many behind the scenes things that I see that other people won't see, that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is how it works and this is how you do it. All right, so with that said, I know these calls are like around an hour long, and I want to make sure that I respect your time.
Does anyone have any questions for me? Have you done a Facebook Live? I would encourage you, if you haven't done a Facebook Live, let your people get to know you. Do the Facebook Lives, even if you're scared.
Even if you're afraid. All right, I want to ask you, Christie, where can they find you if they want to learn more about your community, get to know your world more? And also, we kind of didn't specifically say this, but Christie does doTERRA. She does essential oils. She can help you find out about, she's very specific on serving her niche, which is people who have gone through treatment and they're on the other side. So, but what if they just want to learn about essential oils?
Well, yeah, of course. If you have an ailment, I have an oil.
If you have an ailment, I have an oil. That should be on your shirt.
There's an oil for that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so I am on Facebook, Christie Beaver McConnon, and you can see me in the comments there that Sharon tagged me there. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, not as much as Facebook, just because, not as much as, I'm not on Instagram as much as I am Facebook, because that's where I feel comfortable and that's where my people are. But you can find me there, and I have a website, ChristieMcConnon.com. So if you want to check out oils there, that's where I am. But really, and it's not just oils. I help women see after, breast cancer, it's not just about oils, because you're a package deal. And I talk about nutrition, I talk about fitness. Those aren't my area of expertise. So I bring in experts on that, because I've come to realize that, it's all in balance. If you say, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds and you exercise every day, but you eat all of your meals at McDonald's, then you're probably not going to lose weight. It's about realizing, hey, I need to, if I'm going to take care of myself, I can't treat my body poorly and think an oil is going to take care of it. I have to look at the whole body, the whole picture in every area of my life and work on that. And that's what I focus on in my group is, looking at your spiritual walk, looking at your physical, what are you doing to move daily? What are you putting in your mouth? what are you putting on your body? All of those things work together. So it's helping you find your new normal, but you're going to make some changes along the way. So
I love it. Love it. And if someone is on the fence,
after breast cancer.
yeah, journey to wholeness after breast cancer. And if someone is on the fence, they've gone through the training, the 5-day, this is day 4. So we'll still have training for you guys tomorrow. If they're on the fence of joining Ignite, what do you have to say to them?
If you are on the fence, know what your why is and go for it, because if you don't invest in yourself, then you're gonna, you don't move forward. I'm so grateful that I have invested in myself, that I, realized over the last couple of years, it's okay to invest in yourself, because you become a better version of yourself so that you can help more people. So invest in yourself.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for hanging out with me today, Christy.
Thank you for having me, Kim. I really appreciate it. It helped me today because school has been like, whoa.
Yeah, I have a friend who is a teacher, and she said that she used to love the sound of the bell, and she used to love the sound of the hustle and bustle of students walking around. She became a teacher because she wanted to step away from the computer. She wanted to be hands-on and help her students, and she teaches young kids, like in middle school. So
Yeah, I teach middle
she's
school.
like, oh my gosh, the landscape has changed so much. Now I'm looking at a laptop, and I chose to be a teacher to get away from a laptop. So she's like, oh my gosh, there's no more sounds. It's just me in my kitchen staring at names. Like, they don't even turn on their video. So
They turn on their video for me. But it's, I, as a teacher, I always thought if they would just stop talking. But now I'm sitting there talking to them and it's silent.
yeah.
And it's like, whoa, this is so bizarre.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys can unmute yourself right now.
Let me hear more sound, please.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, thank you, Kim. Thank you for investing in yourself so that you can invest in others and change lives, because you truly are changing lives, my life. And because you're changing mine, you're changing other people's lives. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Christy, for having the courage to, step into this role where you are the leader of your tribe. And I'm so grateful you're inside Ignite. And
Me too.
I had a very fun time today chatting with you. And I hope this was a great break from your teaching. And
I even curled my hair for tonight.
Look, I have some earrings.
Yeah.
Just have fun. All right. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks. You too. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, yeah. If you liked that video, then you will love all the resources that I have over at kimcdang.com. That is KIMCDANG.com. There you will find all my courses, my extensions, all the offers that I have, as well as a lot of free resources if you are just getting started.